feel as though you've entered a grand hotel of the 1930s with beautiful Art Deco interior and a terrazzo floor from Italy. However, this building was actually made as the headquarters for the Auburn Cord Duesenberg factory. And the guests here now are over 100 cars, many beautifully restored, some built from scratch, and we'll have a chance to meet some up close. This is the famous J model Duesenberg, built in 1930. It's really spectacular. Take a close look.
The museum opened its doors in 1974 for the first time, July of that year, and has since welcomed over almost 2 million people through its doors from all 50 states and 40 foreign countries. The museum is a National Historic Landmark, one of only 2 in northeastern Indiana. And it's in this building that automotive history was made. Many of the cars that you see here at the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Automobile Museum were designed, engineered, and sold throughout this, in this building in the early 1930s. And it was here that many fine cars like the Auburn Boattail Speedster, the Cord 810 and 812 were both designed and produced by the different draftsmen and artisans that were on the staff of the Auburn Automobile Company, and of course, the mighty Duesenberg Model J.
Would that be this beauty?
Yes, that would be this beauty. The Duesenberg Model J is considered America's greatest luxury car of all time, and there was only about 481 of these cars ever made. People like Hollywood actors, actresses, kings, queens of countries would own a Duesenberg Model J. This car was about $20,000 new in 1932. That could get you about 40 Fords at the time. Basically a custom coach, if you will. They would get a rolling chassis, and the rolling chassis would then be sent to the coach builder, and they would actually build the body to the specs of the buyer. So no 2 Duesenbergs are alike.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Each one like a work of art.
Definitely. Rolling sculptures, if you will.
Rolling sculptures. I love it. Let's see what else we can find.
Here we have a 1935 Auburn 851 boat-tailed speedster. This car was designed here in this building by a gentleman by the name of Gordon Burig.
Boat-tailed?
Boat-tailed, yes. If you look at the back of the car, it comes down into a little tail, and it looks like the upside down of the hull of a boat.
Yes, it does.
This car in particular was the styling craze of 35. It has become a classic more than 70 years after it was designed.
It is fabulous. I feel like I'm walking through the Hall of the Great Masters.
Well, you're close, definitely.
Each car is a work of art, isn't it? This must be the Frank Lloyd Wright 1929 Cord L29 you mentioned earlier.
Oh, definitely. This car is very colorful, as you can see. This right here was America's first front-wheel drive production automobile.
Really?
Built and designed right here in Auburn, Indiana. This car was originally owned by the great Frank Lloyd Wright. It was originally Taliesin orange, color he's known for. Matter of fact, he loved the innovation and the mechanics and the idea behind front-wheel drive that he actually wrote about it in his biography. He liked the idea of, the power being in the front and pulling the weight rather than in the back pushing the weight. So he's a big fan of the Cord L29. He owned 2, matter of fact.
Gran, it looks like this was built specifically to be a racing car.
Oh, and you'd be correct. That's the 1927 Duesenberg race car. Duesenberg won 3 of 4 Indianapolis 500s between 1924 and 1927. It was also the first American race car to win the French Grand Prix at Le Mans. And believe it or not, it beat second place by over 15 minutes.
Gosh, that's an awful lot these days.
Oh, you bet.
And the driver sat here, of course, in the extra seat?
That was for the mechanic. Back in those days, you had a driver, you had a mechanic, and believe it or not, the most mechanics would actually graduate up to a driver at some point. So, yeah, it's not like today. You had 2 people per car.
Gosh, amazing. I see that this is a 1904 Auburn.
Yes.
Next to a carriage, and there is some relationship here. What is it?
Oh, definitely. Well, that carriage over there is a 1900 Eckerd carriage from the Eckerd Carriage Company. And the Eckerd Carriage Company is really the foundation for what the Auburn Automobile Company was founded on. And it was that company from which the Auburn Automobile Company was created. Now here, of course, you have a 1904 Auburn, and you can kind of tell within 4 years how the company and transportation, for that matter, had evolved. During this time, you had a lot of carriage builders that was taking their carriages and strapping a 1- and 2-cylinder engine on it and creating a horseless carriage. And as you can see, within 4 years, a lot of different features came and really added to the motoring experience to the public.
It's really attractive. It's got brass and wood, and these look like they might have been hanging on a train or in a barn at some point.
Those are gas headlamps. This was really the only real way of seeing at night. Back then, when you owned a horseless carriage, as they called it, you had to be not only the driver, but the mechanic and operator all at the same time. They didn't exactly have tow trucks back in those days.
No, I guess not. No AAA.
No.
Gran, I read earlier that this is a recreation. What happened to the original?
Well, the original actually was destroyed in a fire at the 1929 Los Angeles Auto Show.
Ooh.
Yes, this is a 1929 Auburn cabin speedster. It was a unique car, very unique. There was a big fire that destroyed 320 cars that year in the auto show. The auto show was a huge exhibit. It was held under a large tent, and unfortunately when the tent caught on fire, it destroyed all the cars that were at the show that year. This car, though, in '83, was developed and built by a car enthusiast by the name of Peter Kessling.
I noticed this wooden shell. Is this the interior of this?
No, that's an example of coachwork. Believe it or not, whenever you would bring a rolling chassis, instead of having a metal body to start with, a lot of the bodies during this period of time started out as a wooden body, and then they would actually apply the sheet metal to that and so kind of solder it and kind of fill in the gaps, if you will. So a lot of these amazing machines that you see here actually have a little bit of Mother Nature underneath the metal.
Well, it must have taken a number of different craftsmen good at different fields of engineering to put these together.
Oh, you bet.
Well, Gran, as we stroll down luxury car lane, I want to thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure. 120 cars, 3 different floors. Glad you could stop by and see a few of them.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.